There we go. So did you guys have any specific proposals you wanted me to look at today?
Hey Sam, how's it going?
It's good. It's good.
We have ERC 7589.
7589. All right. And you said ERC?
Yes, ERC.
Okay. Wait, which screen am I sharing? Yeah, it looks like the right one. All right.
Just for context, this is the equivalent of ERC 7432, which I submitted on the chat. 7432 is for 721 NFTs, and this new one is for 1155 NFTs.
All right.
We tried to pack them in a single ERC, but yeah, the implementation result wasn't ideal. So we had to create one for each.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's take a look. So I won't be able to look too much at chat here, just because I'm just on one monitor, and yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's jump right into this. So, enables accounts to share the utility of SFTs via expirable role assignments. All right, yeah. Role assignments granted to a single user and expires automatically. But yeah, okay, cool. That's good. 1155, basically tokenization capabilities, good. Okay, delegated granted to the users. Gaming, yeah, perfect. Okay. You have 11. Yeah, so you should probably put 1155 in your requires. I think.
So there is a reason why we didn't include the 1155 as a requirement. That is we try to elaborate that in one of the final sections called what is it called? I'm looking over here. Backwards compatibility.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, basically we want to allow people that have immutable NFTs to also use this EIC. So you can either implement it in the same contract as your 1155 NFT, or you can implement it as an external contract, as a standalone contract.
Right. So think of the required header here more as like required reading, not like required for implementation.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so if you have to read 1155 to understand how this standard works, even if you don't need the interface, you should still put it in here. And I think it's pretty important because I think you use the
Absolutely.
metadata down here. Yeah.
Yeah, I interpreted it differently. We should
Yeah.
definitely include it then.
Perfect. Okay. Recommended. So RFCs don't use dashes. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. Okay. Phone interface. Okay, ERC 7589, 7 okay. Okay. Your ERC 165 identifier is correct?
Yeah, we
Okay.
do have optional interfaces, so we calculated for each of the interfaces.
Perfect, yeah.
But this is the draft merge, so we can always double check before submitting to final review.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, that looks good. This is two-step process. Go through all. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. The core interface allows for creating a token's commitment balance, but not for a specific user balance. So the tokens created for user, the implementation. Yep, okay. Okay, so the world metadata extension extends traditional JSON SFTs. Therefore, tabs supporting this feature must also implement the metadata extension of 1155. This extension is optional. Yes, okay. Um, oh, that was hyphenated. There we go. Okay. Additional fields. Okay. Then an example. Okay. So I enjoy, or no, not I enjoy, I often recommend that you, in your example, show like the full, both the 1155 and the extension so that people know where to put it relative to the existing metadata. So I'll just add a comment for that here. But like if you think it's obvious, you don't have to do it. I recommend it. So
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. We omitted it because it was a little too big, but I guess we don't need to also put everything. We can just put a
exactly.
part of it, right?
Okay. The properties of the roller are suggested. Okay. Significant of the inputs property, the producing gas draw, it's recommended to use properties type. Okay. It's represented as a byte32 identifier. It's recommended to use can. The commit tokens function must revert with the token amount. Okay. Good. Okay. That all looks good. Please note approval required. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. Steps in documents. Okay. So this stuff here. Um, okay. Let's see, what's a good explainable thing here? Or is that just clear without an example? I mean, you're here. I don't necessarily need to explain. Yeah, so basically the rationale should explain like why you've chosen these two methods instead of one method, or why you're using like as a random example like ECDSA instead of ED25519. Like those are the kind of things that belong in your rationale section, or things
Yeah,
that
on that. Sorry to interrupt you. On the second paragraph, we try to explain what token commitments are because we use this term a lot throughout the interface, and it's basically an abstraction that we introduce just to represent either a balance that is frozen that the user cannot transfer, or tokens that are deposited on the contract. We can
okay.
try to rephrase that, but I think it's important to remain that in the rationale, right?
Yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, it's just this lead in here makes it sound like token commitments are the whole point of the proposal, whereas if they're just a part of the proposal, then it makes sense to keep them in rationale. Yeah, so that's fine then. Okay, role approvals. That makes sense. So we are inside rationale, so
Sorry, I didn't understand that comment. Would you mind in
yeah,
elaborating?
yeah. So right here, you're saying like for this reason, it's recommended using type UN64 max, where the assignment is never required to expire. That's a requirement. So this is like you're making a suggestion that people implementing this should use this particular Sentinel value to mean never expire. Since you're introducing that as kind of like a recommendation or requirement, it should actually be in the specification section.
Okay.
Yeah, because like if somebody were to only receive the specification section of your EIP, they should be able to implement your EIP, even if they don't really understand why they're doing it that way. So all of your requirements should be in that section.
All right.
Yeah, and that goes for kind of all of them here. So. And that'll go for any of the fully capitalized keywords anywhere. Reference implementation. Okay. Oh, I should go back up here. So, it's FTs, yeah. Let's go through up again. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, many SFTs deploy some immutable contracts, which pose the following challenges. How can one enable role management for SFTs that can't be modified? So this is problem. Yeah, so okay. 75 inside the SFT contract. Okay. Good. So because this is a file name, you can go like this, and that'll make the linter shut up. Um, there you go. Yeah, that looks good. And then you have the right license on here. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, that all looks really good. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Sam.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, thanks for coming out. All right, so I can erase that, and then we can take a look at the other things to review.
Oh, I'm Tina from 707. So
Oh, hey,
also,
sorry, I didn't know.
oh yeah, also one of the agendas
Oh,
in the
which one, sorry?
707. The to
707.
review the fourth one.
This one here?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, let's take a look. Did you have any specific questions?
No questions. We just update this standard, so want to
Sure.
move it to review.
Yeah, take a look. All right. Draft for review. Okay. Okay. Heuristic machine learning. Okay. Um, um, okay. So verifiable. Let's put this in split mode. That'll make this a little easier to read. And then get rid of that. Okay. All right. So the verifiable AI generated content from non-fungible tokens added as an extension of ERC 721 token standard for AIGC. Okay. Let's pop that open. Yeah, good. The standard includes a mint variant. Yep. New mint variant. Good. Jason's. And optimistic machine learning capabilities to enable the verification of AIGC data correctness. Token ID is indexed by the prompt. Okay. So, aims to extend the existing token standard to K. Start input. The proposed interface is allowed for additional functionality related to the minting, verifying, and enumerating EIGK. Additionally, the metadata schema provides the structure for information. Okay. Groups. The state of enables models to publish the trend line. Okay. Okay. I think that makes sense. So okay. Let's implement the. Okay, so. So speed, IC 721. Yeah, actually, let's make that change here. Okay. So yours is called IERC 707. So it looks something like this. And then 721, I think is called just ERC 721, but I don't check it all that often. Yeah. And same with 165. Yeah, just 165. Okay. Faces. Yeah, so I think that makes sense. Cool. The verifiable standard inclusive file interfaces. Good. Defensive min function. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to assume your solidity works. Optional extension updatable. So okay. So what heading are we at? We're at 2. So I guess we want 3 for this one. There's optional for smart contracts, duplicate tokens, FML. Okay, I'm going to change over challenge period. Good. Okay. Then you have your metadata schema for reference. Good. Okay, there may be printable tokens that depend on the schema. NFT holders don't have the right to choose the prompt, which must create a product. Given a predefined machine learning model, we want to give the right of the prompt creation back to NFT holders. Okay, so this chunk here. Okay. Specifications of construction ID. Good. Yep, that makes sense. The specification accommodates 2 proof types, for proofs, function documents, submit to verify for general. Okay, so okay, verify interface, enforce the correctness. It's defined as a view function, reduce stat gas cost, so if I
Oh
should
yeah,
return.
so mint and verify is below.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so verify these, give proof. Yeah, so just up here, if these are functions like these ones, just put them in backticks, that's all.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah. We specify a mint interface to bind the prompt and AIGC data with token ID. Oops. Turn true. Well, give me a couple before finalization. The consideration here is. Okay. Using. So this may here, is this like supposed to be creating a requirement? Are you saying that like people should not allow minting until finalization, or is this just like a general kind of best
Oh, it's just
practice?
like a general
Yeah.
best practice. No cap. Okay.
Yeah. If you want, you can use like italics or bold to kind of indicate that it's special, but just don't use the all caps.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That looks good. Backwards compatibility. Yep. Test cases. Good. Front running risk. Yep. Good. Good. Your copyright notice looks good. Um, okay. So that's an important one. We really can't have unlicensed code in here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, which license is better? Maybe
CC0.
MIT.
MIT
CC.
is fine. Yeah. CC0 is what we like, but
Oh,
you can do MIT if you want.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so they really just all need to be changed. I'm just going to note them all here, just so I remember to check them. Um, okay. Doesn't have a license, and yeah, okay. So there we go. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming out. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions.
So after we update this, we need to comment again, or it
Uh,
will be review.
Somebody will look at it of it. Like once you push to your pull request, somebody will look
Mm.
at it eventually. It is somewhat faster if you show up on the review call, but it's not required.
So it's next week the same time.
I believe it's every 2 weeks. Let me check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the next one is on February 20th.
Oh,
Same
okay.
same time.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Take care.
Bye.
All right, let's go through some of these other ones then. Since I'm the only one on the call, I'm not going to be doing this out loud. Sorry to anybody watching the recording. Hey, did you have an EIP you wanted me to look at, or? Hey, yeah, sorry I didn't see your chat there. Yeah, this is definitely the place to ask questions and such. Hey, yeah, so what do you want to know? What questions do you have?
Hey, hello. Great to meet you. Great to connect. Yeah, I was just curious about um, the whole process for submitting an EIP and yeah, what are the kind of like first steps to take to start? Like, what's the best way to initiate the process, basically?
Sure. So let me start by saying that it's very author driven. So like you create your pull request, when you're ready, you decide when to advance it between the statuses. That's all up to the person writing the EIP. A good first step is probably to see if there's community interest in the proposal that you're working on. If you don't have a group of people that want to collaborate, it's probably not the best fit for the EIP process. And we usually do that on the Ethereum Magicians forum. This one right here. There we go. And then if you decide that you're ready to move forward and that there's enough interest in the community, you write up a draft of your proposal. A draft doesn't have to be complete. You can leave some sections empty or TBD. The only real requirement is that you have the technical portion mostly written, and then you put up a pull request for that. There's a template in the ERC's repository or the EIP's repository, depending on what type of thing you're submitting. Yeah, and then an editor will eventually get around to looking at it, and then you'll get assigned an EIP number, and your pull request will be merged. And then when you're ready and you've completed the document and you're looking for review from outside people, you make a pull request updating it to review. Once you're satisfied that you've collected enough review, you can open a pull request to move it into last call and then into final when you're all done. I guess the only other important thing is that final really does mean final. So once it's in final, you can't edit it anymore. And that's kind of the 30-second overview of the whole process.
Great, thank you so much. And you mentioned that there is a number that is being assigned. Is there any kind of space for basically providing preferences?
No, so they are just assigned in the order that we received them.
Okay. Okay, so it's pretty random then. There is no way to know.
Yeah, exactly. So we try very hard to discourage people from trying to get specific numbers. We had a lot of problems with spam on our repositories for a while. People would just post stuff to try and get like a pretty number for their EIP. So we just assign first come, first serve now. So,
Right.
yeah.
And so does it mean you had already 7,000 of them?
So we had 7,000 pull requests and issues. The original way we were assigning numbers is just based on the number that GitHub generates here. We've since switched to assigning them based on a spreadsheet. So no, I think there's about 700. I think total.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot less.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So the ERC20 was like in the very early days of the Ethereum.
Oh, very, very early. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and so is there a I suppose the recording will be available of this presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I'm here every 2 weeks if you want to come in and ask any questions or if you need any help. The next one is February 20th at the same time.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then what's the kind of timeline? Is it like weeks, months?
It's probably months. I mean, I'm reviewing stuff from early December right now. But the nice thing about the EIP process is that it doesn't stop you from implementing stuff on your own. You don't need to wait for the standard to be finished to make your prototypes. So you don't necessarily need to wait for us to start working on stuff. What do you think you're proposing? Like, what are you working on?
Yeah, so basically we are where to start? So the whole concept is this idea of immutable points. So there is the soulbound token, which is an NFT type, with like non-fungible with text data. And so this is great for like one-off, you want to prove one specific thing to one specific person. But we are looking at a way to use numbers primarily and provide context as a kind of like secondary ingredient.
Okay.
Yeah, so the whole concept is that you are able to compound those points across your journey, and then the smart contracts can communicate with one another. We believe that standards are great for allowing ecosystems to interoperate better. And
Yeah, that sounds
points
useful.
yeah, exactly. So points, the goal is to have like a non-transferable ERC20, and I'm very surprised that it doesn't exist already.
Yeah, so on that note, covering up my screen here. There is somewhere in here something that is similar. Did they change it? They must have changed it.
I was doing some research on the platform and I could not find.
Yeah, there is a token that somebody made for this, but I think they must have renamed it because it used to be called like experience token or something like that. See if we can
XP
find
maybe?
it. Yeah, it could be XP. Yeah. Because I definitely remember approving a token for that, but now it is gone.
So in video games, it's usually called XP, like experience points. So many.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's do the whole word. Yeah. So well, there's one option, but I doubt that's the one. But yes, I know one exists. I can't find it right now, but
Okay.
one exists. So let's see, abstract token. Maybe soulbound would be better. Soulbound, consensual semantics, soulbound badges. Yeah. Anyways, it exists. I promise you that someone has started thinking about this, but it doesn't have the additional context that you were talking about.
Yeah, so the goal basically is to allow users to accumulate something that is not money, but that represents their merits. And there are lots of potential applications for this. One of them being solving the congestion problem. So let's say, the price goes up and the gas fee goes up and MEV bots are making a lot of money.
Yep.
Maybe there should be a way for high value creators who don't necessarily have the means to afford those expensive transactions to keep participating in the ecosystem.
Yeah, because somebody feels like it's worthwhile for them to. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think that's definitely worth it. And I think people would be interested in working on it. I think the only thing we got to do is figure out where the old token is, and then, yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
it would be great to
Fungible.
start from something that was already done and audited and approved, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's 4974 apparently. What did they rename it to? 4974. Ratings. That's not a descriptive title at all. Yeah, so this might be a good place to start from.
Cool. I thank you so much. I will look into it. I just shared a link to a video that I recorded. It's a 10 minutes presentation about the whole concept. If
Oh,
you want.
nice. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that.
And and feel free to share it around if you see any good fit with community members. So you recommend to hang out at the Ethereum Magicians as like.
Yeah, yeah. The first step is usually to like informally make a post and see if people are interested. It's not required, so like you don't need like, 6 people from the community to like approve your idea before you get started. You don't need to do that. It's just that like convention is to see how much interest there is before opening a PR.
Yeah, of course, it makes sense. It reminds me, so in France, we have this concept where if you want to run for president, you first need to collect 500 signatures from mayors.
From
It's very
mayors, really?
Yeah. So you have to go all over the country and meet mayors. We have 36,000 mayors, and you just need 500 of them to approve for you to run, which kind of prevents, the kind of like
Spam.
saturation, like the cyber attacks on elections.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so nothing that formal here, just like a temperature check, and then
Right.
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. That's very helpful, and thank you, Madeleine, for pointing me in the direction of this space.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out. Looking forward to reading your proposal, and I will apologize in advance for how long it takes. So
Yeah, completely fine.
yeah.
And
On that
so
note, I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
the EIP number starts to exist from the submission.
Yeah. So there we have a volunteer who assigns numbers, so you'll get a comment in your PR very quickly with a number, and then
Awesome.
that'll be your number. Yeah.
Cool. So it means that once it's created, and is there like any form of I don't know, trying to pitch it to like the broader community and have them to support it, or like is there any effort to do to like gather support from the community, or is it?
So unfortunately, we're just kind of like document management. So we don't really do any of the like community building or pushing for it to be adopted. We're trying to kind of get into that, but that's all on you right now,
Yeah, no, sorry.
unfortunately.
I meant more if we once it's submitted, like does it help to kind of reach out
Oh yes, yeah,
and say like,
absolutely.
hey, this is our EIP, please have a look and
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's yes, there's Peep and Eep actually is great. That's the podcast Pooja does.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's great if you want to go and talk on there. And then there's a lot of communities like I think OpenSea has a pretty active developer community. There's an NFT community that might be interested in something like this. But really, the forum is where you're going to find all of like that's where you're going to start getting connections, and then can go from there.
Okay, sweet, awesome.
Awesome, great. I have to take off. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank
and
you so much. Have a great day.
see ya.
See you.